Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping. My name's Lillian with Stamper's Niche, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada, where the skies were blue and the sun was shining today. It's starting to get cooler, but it was still gorgeous. And then I went to put an order out tonight for somebody to pick up, and there's a big full moon, and it was just gorgeous. So that being said, it's also an exciting time. Some new products dropping tomorrow. So let's just make sure we all know the date. Today is November the 3rd, 2025, and tomorrow is the 4th. And some new product is dropping tomorrow. So I am going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to make something with something new that's just going to be released tomorrow. So I hope that you're excited about it. I know that I am. Let's go down to my desktop and get started with all the stuff that's going on. So here we go like this. Oh, I forgot to switch my lights and they're shining a reflection. Here we go. We'll turn that one that way and this one that way, and then you won't have so much reflection. So tomorrow, November the 4th, 2025, some brand new online exclusives are dropping, as well as a couple of kits, because there are always new kits on the first Tuesday of the month. And then every other month, there are new, oops, I put the paper on something sticky, new online exclusives. Now, I can't show you the inside of this brochure, but anytime after midnight, if you're a night owl, or first thing in the morning, if you go to my website and then click on online exclusives, you will see all the new things. So when you do that, I should have brought my iPad. Just remember there's a sorting thing, and you can sort by newest, and I always click that so you can see the newest things. Now in here, you're going to find suites, or at least one suite. You're going to find bundles. You're going to find individual stamp sets, punches, dies, embellishments, papers, all kinds of fun things. So just something to think about. And while you're hopping on and saying hi and all that kind of thing, I have a question for you. Because when I looked through this, when I looked through this, one bundle caught my eye. And I thought, no, I don't need it. I'm always getting the same thing. And those of you who know me know that I am so attracted to leaves and that kind of thing. So maybe if you've had a look online, or when you look online, you will know which one that I was attracted to. So what kind of, let's say, stamp sets are you attracted to? Are you attracted to flowers? I've got a friend, if it's a flower, she's all in. I have another friend, if it's whimsical creatures, you know, fun little characters, then she's all in. So what kind of stamp sets do you find yourself attracted to, maybe even when you think you're not going to be, you just are? If you were to look at your collection, what kind of is sort of predominant there? So thank you so much for saying hi. Welcome, Catherine and Marilyn. So glad you're here. And I am going to get started in a minute here. So on Saturday, I was playing with some of the new product, and the brand new releases are, hi Linda, welcome, are in the new packaging. Welcome, Gail. So I did a little video on how much I am starting to fall in love with this packaging. And many of you have caught it. If not, I'll put a link in the video afterwards. It takes up so little room. It's nice and flat like that. That's a stamp set and a die there. They are tall and a little bit on the slim side. They are the packaging is about 5.5 inches. And I am finding right now that I'm keeping them in a plastic container and just whipping through like that. And I love it. Now, I already keep my dies, my embossing folders, and my embellishments in this kind of a storage system. So this is maybe coming naturally to me. I don't know. But I I have to admit, when they first announced they were changing the packaging, I was hesitant. Then I remembered, you know, they have changed the packaging before, and I've fallen in love with it every time, and I have once again. So we are going to play with this bundle here, and if you guess that I fell for something with leaves, you are right. Leaves are what I fall for. Not just in the autumn time. So we're going to play with this and something else, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. One of the items that's in the going to be released tomorrow is 12 by 12 vellum, and we have been so missing our vellum, and this vellum is, I think, even better. I haven't even opened it, but I've heard that it's slightly thicker, and so therefore easier to work with. It has a bit of stability, and the fact that it's 12 by 12 and you get 12 sheets in a package, oh yes, I can feel it. It is quite a bit thicker and yet still vellum and wonderful. So I'm going to be working with some projects with that for sure in the future. So just a heads up that sometimes paper doesn't show up well, look for that vellum. So it's right there. Another thing that caught my eye was this kind of thing. So it's called the Swirled Designs Bundle. And where did I put that? So we've got the designs, the stamps all have these kind of images on them. So they make great backgrounds and gutter splatters. And then the dies cut out these kinds of shapes. So I put these beside because that's what came out of the middle of these, but I thought, oh, there's potential there, or you could pop them back in afterwards. And some stars. We've been missing stars, and we've got this, and just fun things. So I'll be playing with that for sure in the future. So let's move that aside. I did make one little thing. I used some of the background stamps there and just did that. But I haven't played much with my online exclusives. We've been a busy house lately and haven't had a chance to do it. So I played a bit today with this, and I'm excited to share with you tonight. So when I am exploring how to use some new items, I first of all often go to the Stampin' Up website or catalog and look at their samples. And this is totally cased from one of their samples. They just had this piece on this side. I flipped it around. But there it is right there. So I thought that was pretty neat, just like that. So we've got that sample there. But then I started to look around and I saw a sample done by, what's her name? Heather Forgan. She goes under Stamp with Nellie. She's in the UK, and she used the Woven Textures designer paper here and did this here. And I thought I would love to do something similar with you tonight. So what do you think? Do you think you'd like to do this? I'm going to have some fun with it. So what if you don't have that linen look designer paper? Well, there is a brand new large stamp, one of the great big ones, and it is called linen. And so it is, I don't know how, we're going to use it. It'll show up better. So it's one of the great big ones. We've never had them in photopolymer before. And so when you peel it off, you can either use your big block, but I have the glass mat here, so I'm going to use this. I could even leave it on the protective covering, but I want it on my glass mat because then it'll stay put. So I'm just going to put this down and use my glass mat as my stamping block. And then I'm going to bring in Pool Party ink. I forgot to show you the papers we're using tonight. We're going to use a Lost Lagoon card base. That's 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. It is lovely, isn't it, Linda? Yeah, this one here, is that the one you're talking about? I just love that. So that's what we're working towards. And then we have 2 pieces of white that are 3 3/4 by 5. One's for the inside, one's for the outside. And then we have a piece that right now is a little bit bigger than 3.5 by 4 3/4. We're going to cut it down, but I wanted to stamp it first and then cut it down in case I had a raggedy edge. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our Pool Party ink, and this is Pool Party paper, so it's going to be tone on tone. We're just going to ink up this large stamp. Now you could actually put the paper down and then bring the stamp to the paper, but with this large stamp, this size of stamp, I like to put it down, then bring my paper in and put it on top. So I don't know, that's just how I roll. So I'm going to put it down and then we're going to press. Now you can get sticky fingers that way, but I'm just going to bring in some scrap paper and put it on top and press. And I actually prefer to bring in my brayer or something, and then I know that I'm pressing everywhere. And then we'll take that scrap paper off and move the brayer out of the way. I've got stuff going everywhere here. There we go. And then we'll just peel that off. And look at that. Isn't that neat? I have to admit that when I did this afternoon, when I was getting ready for tonight, when I saw this, my first response was, I'm in love. I am going to use this stamp over and over and over. I actually love a linen look background, and this is going to be absolutely perfect. Now I'm just bringing my chamois in to clean that off, and then we'll put that back, and it's all done with. Now we have this, and we're going to cut it to 3.5 by 4 3/4. So actually, I don't think it really matters. It all looks pretty good. So 3.5 by 4 3/4. We've got that like that. So that's how we've made our own designer paper, just like that. Now we're going to bring in some of the items from here. I've got all of these mounted on stamps, and so on blocks. So I'm going to bring in Lost Lagoon. So the themes here is Lost Lagoon and Pool Party, the two colors that I'm really working with. And I'm going to bring in this here and ink this up. And I don't know if you make sure I've got clean fingers here. There's a little bit of this stamped right there. I'm going to do something similar, but not exactly the same. This time, I am going to, I'm going to go here, like that. And then I'm going to go like that. So now I have just made a little corner piece like that. And I'm going to bring in the piece that's going to be my inside, and I'm going to ink this up as well. And I want to stamp that off once so it's lighter. So I'll just bring my scrap paper back in again. And I'm going to do it there. And I'll huff on it. Just put some warm air from your mouth, and it'll be fairly light, but I'm going to flip that over and do it again. Let's do this. We will put one here and one there. Don't you just love that paper has two sides? Lifesaver there. All right, we've got that. I'm going to leave the Lost Lagoon out because I'm going to use it some more. So now I'm going to be doing some stamping, but I just want to share a little bit the process. So here's the stamp, and this piece of paper is 3 by 4. So we'll stamp on that. And because it's a larger stamp, I really like to bring my ink to the stamp versus the other way around. And look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? So it's gorgeous on its own. But then when you bring the dies in, so let's bring these dies in. Like this. You have this die here that will cut this out. And that will give you this look, like that. Absolutely love that. Now you can leave that die in place and add this die, and you definitely need to have a removable tape to hold it in place, and then you get this look here. Let me just, this look here. So all the insides are cut out. I haven't seen a die quite like this before, and I'm absolutely loving it. So I was thinking, okay, so if I do that, could I do that with metallic? So I put a bit of copper embossing powder on Blackberry Bliss. And again, just simply gorgeous. I think you could turn this into a Christmas stamp if you wanted, depending on what colors you used. You could do all kinds of different things. So that's how you put it together. That's how you cut it out. And it looks gorgeous. So now it's, let me just bring in my Get Acquainted sheet, because there's just so much here. So now that you see how that came about. So I stamped and cut like this. So that's this one here. This was doing one more cut. Then you've got a couple of stamps that you can cut the leaves out of, or you have these that stand alone. Then you have this one here, and you have these great, great words. Words for encouragement and support and that kind of thing. So let's build our card here. I'm going to close this up now that you see how that all comes together. And we'll put those back there. I was playing with this set, and this was sitting on the edge of my desk, and I accidentally hit it. And this dies went flying, and I found them all afterwards except this one here, and I could not find it anywhere. And I was so frustrated. And I was telling Harry my sad tale, and he said, well, let me come look. I said, okay, this is where I flipped it. I had 2 drawers open. I've looked through the drawers. I've moved furniture. I've even cleaned and done the floor. And you know what? He found that die. So I was thrilled. So we're going to use this. We're going to keep this for another time and start to assemble our card. Oh, one other thing. You're going to stamp a couple of the leaves, and you're also going to stamp some words. Let's stamp those words right now. And I'm going to use wishing you all the best, because that could be if you're going through a challenging time or you're looking forward to surgery or something like that, but it could also be a celebration, right? Isn't that, yeah, Linda, I'm glad you're talking about this one here. I just saw your comment. Yes, it is simply gorgeous. I seem to be on a Blackberry Bliss embossing kick lately, but I am so impressed with that. Okay, so that's our stamping. Let's start building the card. First of all, we're going to fold our card base in half on the scored line and burnish that fold so that it's nice and crisp. Then we're going to bring in our white and our stamped here, our created designer paper. We're going to put those 2 together. Just going to glue them together. How many of you think that this linen stamp might be making its way to your craft table, making its way to your wish list or craft table? I think that's going to be a classic in my room. All right, so we're going to put this on here. Your choice, whether you want to put it flat or on dimensionals. I'm going to bring in some dimensionals and go for it. Look at this, almost brand new package. There we go. And a big thank you to all of you for joining me tonight. Or if you're watching the replay, thank you for leaving a comment, letting me know. And if you're watching on YouTube later, just leave a little comment as well. It means the world to me. So there we go. We have got that. Oh, you've got yours too, Maggie. I think last week you were just getting something that I was doing too. We must be on the same wavelength. Yes, I am so pleased with it too. So this is going to go on the inside. We'll worry about putting a message on the inside later. So I'm going to put that to the side. Now we've got this, and ahead of time, I actually die cut these leaves. So we have them here. Now, and I'll just talk you through it a little bit. We've got this stamp. This is going to go here about like that, and it will look really, really good. But when I saw this lady doing hers, she took the extra leaves. I'm going to move that out of the way now. And she just made this even fuller, and she put a mini dimensional behind here. So she tucked one, say, there, and another one maybe there. Let's play around with that a bit, and this little one there. So that kind of look. Now, when I made this card, I had actually glued this piece down before I decided to add these, and that became a bit of a problem because I had to pry it up. So we're going to bring in our silicone mat. I just found this a little bit easier, and we're going to do that arrangement before we ever put it on the card. So we'll put that there so I don't lose it. And we're going to bring in our mini dimensionals just because they're a little bit easier. And on the back of each of these leaves, okay, there's number 3. I'm going to put a mini dimensional here, and then I'm going to put liquid glue on the ends. So it's just making sure that the dimensional is going to be hidden. So just wherever it's wide enough. So we've got that like that. We'll bring in our glue. Just a little dab just to hold it in place. And then we'll take the backing off. Where's my little garbage container? There it is. And I'm going to, oh, I meant to put the glue on the top. Oh, well, it's on the bottom. Just put that one there. And I'm not worried that it's like that because my words are going to cover that up. And I'll tuck this one in here. So it adds just a little bit more dimension. You can just sort of decide where you want it. And I'm pressing just lightly. I'll press harder once it's on the card. I just am wanting to get it positioned. And maybe a bit like that. Now I'm going to turn it over and put my glue on. And I know that it's narrow, but it's not too narrow. It's actually pretty easy to put glue on, especially where the branches are. So just a bit again. And you don't have to put it everywhere. There, that'll be good. And I'll pick that up. Get that out of the way, and let's put that right about here. There, now I don't know if you can see, but those little leaves that we added brought in a little bit of dimension like that. So I really like that look. Now we're going to add the words, and they're going to go here. So all I did was, after I stamped the words, I just cut them out with my paper trimmer. I'm going to put them in here. I'll put these on dimensionals too. Or this, pardon me. Oh, I know. I was going to ask your opinion, and not sure about it. Should I put linen thread behind that? Let's just see here. Let's give it a try, see what our thoughts are. So I'm going to make just a big messy bow. And if I put that behind, do you think that adds or just detracts? Let's just see. It may be a bit hard to see. Actually, I don't mind it. What do you think? Should we add the linen thread? And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to bring something else that's new in. So linen thread or no linen thread? What do you think? Yes, Maggie, I love that tucking technique too. I'm so glad I watched it. Yes to the thread. Okie dokie. We are going to add the thread. There we go. And I'll hold it on with, just peel that off with the dimensionals. Oh, good. Now I think I'll add one more dimensional just because, oh, I got a couple, got a whole fistful of dimensionals. There we go. Take the backing off. Oh yeah, I like that linen thread there. And then there's a new set of embellishments called the Earthy Matte Dots, and the colors are Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, Lost Lagoon, pardon me, and Pecan Pie. And when I was looking for embellishments for this, I thought, ooh, this is perfect. So it's Lost Lagoon, so it will work perfectly. What I had been thinking about using before I realized that was I was looking at the two-tone sparkle gems because I just love these and they're on the last chance list. But they would look really neat too. But I think I want to give these a try. So either or, there's always choices, right? But because these are new, I kind of wanted to give them a try and let you see them. These are nice and flat. Really super to use. And oh, that third and last one, where do I put it? I'm going to just put it down there. So there you have it. There is our version of this card. So what do you think? Okay, which do you like better? Do you like the brown one or the Lost Lagoon one? You can take a look at that while you're doing that. Here's the one that Stampin' Up shared. So this uses the nice little airy leaves here. I'm going to move that right out of the way. Give ourselves lots of room. Then when I was practicing for this one and practicing with the linen stamp set, this is one I made with Cloud Cover and Pecan Pie. Not Pecan Pie, pardon me. Pretty Peacock. Okay, so okay, let's move this out of the way. Here are 3 of the same. So you can see that you could just really do any color combination you like. Then there was this one that I cased from Stampin' Up. And then this one, I was playing around with cutting the words apart. And again with the Blackberry Bliss. And this card here, I used this version. So I didn't cut out the centers. I just did it like that. And then did some stamping on the paper. Most people liked the green on this layer. And then this is the inside. So it's the cloud cover one. Yes, I was pretty pleased with that one too. So they just are different looks. This is brighter. This is more subdued and rich, and just all kinds of different ideas. So like I was saying, you can use this just as a stamp feature. You can use it as a partially cut out feature or more fully cut out. I think this has tons of potential. I am just absolutely thrilled with it, and so glad I got the Friendly Foliage, and I'm so glad I got the linen one too. So what's it called? The Lasting Linen. That's what it's called, Lasting Linen. So, an empty envelope isn't doing you much help, is it? So Lasting Linen. So remember, these become available 1 minute past midnight tonight, but they'll be available for a while. I think these are going to be a big seller, both sets. And if you're looking for more information or wanting to purchase from somebody, please feel free to contact me or visit my online store here, or contact your own demonstrator if you have one. But if not, I'm glad to help you out. All right, take care, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed this card. Bye-bye.